It's been a very rocky offseason for the NFL, for owners in regards to their relationship with players and especially the running backs and their want of or their need of more respect as far as contracts and how things are done. And last episode, of course, I talked ad nauseum about the running back position and about why the running backs are not getting the type of payment that they feel they deserve. And while I do think that they deserve more money, I also understand in the terms. I also understand when you're an owner, when you're a GM, and you're handing out money and handing out contracts. I also understand why you would be hesitant to pay a running back big money. That's what I was expressing last episode. Again, I do think that every player deserves to get what they feel they deserve because they're the players, are the one that put their body on the line. But this offseason, more than ever, I believe, owners are really and GMs are really showing you how much they do or don't value a player or value a position or value their own players. Like I said, there's been a long-standing fight, but it's been louder than ever this offseason. But there's been a long-standing fight between the how much running backs get paid and what they feel their value is. And Jim Irsay, who is the owner of the Indianapolis Colts, had some very interesting words to say after Jonathan Taylor, who of course is a running back, one of the best running back in the league, shared his dissatisfaction to how the running back position has been treated. I know Jim Irsay came out and pretty much said that, it's unfair or whatever why running backs get paid, and he feels that they should be getting, while they're not as valued as other positions, they should be paid more. That's what Jim Irsay, who, by the way, gives out checks, said. Which then prompted his best running back and one of the league's best running back, Jonathan Taylor, to pretty much come back and say, now, yes, of course, I was paraphrasing what Jim Irsay first said, and I'm paraphrasing what Jonathan Taylor said. And Taylor pretty much said, bro, you say you want respect, or you respect us, and you say this and that, but you low ball, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not paying us. You're in charge, or you can directly change this, and it's not changing. Which I think they had a meeting. They did have a meeting. Jonathan Taylor and Jim Irsay had a meeting, and very quickly after that meeting, reports came out saying that Jonathan Taylor wanted or requested a trade from the Indianapolis Colts. Again, Jonathan Taylor just a year or two ago was in the MVP talks. Jim Irsay, who, might I add you, isn't the most popular owner. He has had several run-ins and off-the-field situations that don't need to be discussed. He's just not the most popular owner. And he has done things that have, just on the field, giving wild contracts. He is the owner that brought in Jeff Saturday, who had absolutely no coaching experience to be the head coach of the team. So he was the owner that watched that watched he watched Andrew Luck get pummeled week after week behind that weak offensive line. He franchise tagged Peyton Manning twice. Mind you, Peyton Manning is widely considered as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And while he wasn't in his prime, he wasn't too far removed from it. And he franchise tagged him twice. So Jim Irsay doesn't have the reputation of being the best owner. Let me first say that. But Jim Irsay, after Jonathan Taylor pretty much came out and requested a trade, said we're not trading him. He also said this. Now, I'm not going to paraphrase. This is literally the quote that Jim Irsay said. The literal quote. I'm going to read it. The quote is this: "If I die tonight and Jonathan Taylor is out of the league, no one's going to miss us. The league goes on. We know that. The National Football League rolls on. It doesn't matter who comes and who goes. And it is a privilege to be a part of it." There's ways of saying things, and there's ways of doing things. And how do I approach this? Let me first say I agree to a certain extent with Jim Irsay said. We talk about this a lot, man. The NFL is going to roll on. You see people get major injuries. I mean, I wish for a speedy recovery, but Tim Patrick, the wide receiver for the Broncos, has torn ACL, out for the season. Very unfortunate for him. I wish for a speedy recovery. The league is going to go on. Nyheim Hines had a boat accident, I believe, a speedboat accident, out for the season. The league is going to go on. The Bills are going to go on. It's just that's just how it is. So I agree with Jim Irsay in that sense, as far as it doesn't really matter who's here. I mean, we saw that with the refs. They had replacement refs. A league that is worth billions of dollars had replacement refs, and the product was horrible. But it kept going. You see, there's been seasons where, Tom Brady's been out. He got suspended. Patrick Mahomes has missed games. Like it doesn't. Joe Burrow missed half a season, half his rookie season. So I do agree with Jim Irsay in saying that it doesn't really matter what one or two people do, or the league is always the fans are gonna come out. The fans want to see the product. It's gonna keep going. But here's the issue that I have with Jim Irsay. And here's the issue that I have with what he said. Again, I agree what he said when he says it doesn't matter who comes and who goes. The league is going to go on. We know that. I agree with that. The National Football League rolls on. I agree with that. But here's the issue that I have. And here's the bigger issue in this Jim Irsay quote. This was the perfect time and the perfect situation for you to unify yourself with a cause. Right now, the running back position is very fragile, especially when we talk about the top athletes and the top running backs wanting to get paid. On top of that, if we just talk about the Colts and Jim Irsay, one of your, if not your best player right now, is very vocal about how he feels and how other players feel. Now, don't get me wrong. I know this. I keep saying a running back thing, but this is a league thing. This is multiple players, multiple positions. They feel that they are not valued. I understand it's being pictured as a running back thing, but this is a league wide thing outside of quarterbacks. Hell, Zach Martin is out. Zach Martin is holding out for the Cowboys. This is a league-wide thing. Jim Irsay's best player, pretty much, is coming out and saying that, his dissatisfaction to how players are being treated. And instead of being one of the people that not only can change how players are being treated, but being one of the people that could be the voice that is needed. You make that comment. And I think I understand that you can't tell anybody how to spend their money. And especially billionaires. You cannot tell billionaires how to spend their money. I get it. But this shows you, I think owners get something confused sometimes. And shouts out to Marcus Spears. Shouts out to Ryan Clark. They both said this. I think some owners believe that people pay their hard-earned money to come to the games to see them. To come to the games to see their team. And to a certain extent, yes, you do come to see your favorite team. But people are paying their hard-earned money, especially today. People are paying their hard-earned money to see the players. If you don't believe me, look at the attendance rate. Or look at the attendance of the Cincinnati Bengals when Joe Burrow was out or playing to when he's out. Look at the attendance of the Kansas City Chiefs when Patrick Mahomes is playing and when he's not. Look at the attendance of the Buffalo Bills when Josh Allen's in the game or when he's not. What I'm saying is, owners, Jim Irsay has to understand. Yes, the NFL rolls on. But people don't come to see you. They come to see Jonathan Taylor. They come to see the Colts, not you. So the last thing you want to do is talk down and make it seem like your best player doesn't matter. I understand he tried to do the whole, if I die tonight and Jonathan Taylor's out the league, no one's going to miss us. What? Of course no one's going to miss you, Jim Irsay, because no one sees you. But that's not true. If Jonathan Taylor, Jonathan Taylor is one of the best players in the National Football League. There's such a disconnect with that statement. Again, I do understand and I do agree with the one thing that he said. The league goes on. We know that. That is true. But it goes on with the players. I understand this is the shield. The NFL is a shield. I get that. But you're showing how much or how little you value your players when you make a comment like that in the manner of which he made it. And trust me, man, While Jim Irsay is his name is on this bullet, he's not the only owner that feels this way. You think that if the owner of the Giants really valued his players, that there would be such a holdout or such a pay discrepancy between Saquon Barkley, his best player, and Daniel Jones? You think that if the owner of the Tennessee Titans loved Derrick Henry that much and valued Derrick Henry that much, he would have made only $40 million his entire career? When you have other players making $40 million a year? I will say that this is the wrong time to make this statement and make this quote. I don't understand why. I do understand why you make this quote, because you believe this quote. And while, yes, he put Jonathan Taylor's name in it because him and Jonathan Taylor had a conversation before, it's not just a Jonathan Taylor thing. This is what Jim Irsay, he doesn't value his players, the ones that put their lives on the line for a product. And he's not the only, and when you hear quotes like that, as small as that quote is, it speaks volumes. And that's why you look up today, and outside the quarterback position, pretty much every other position is fighting for equal value. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.